Good afternoon, dear learners. Welcome to this session in which we are going to talk about the activity 2 topics and the evidence that you have to send me about this activity. Remember, in the main menu of the platform, select the activity 2 button, and then you are going to check the learning guide, the material about the topic of this activity in the multimedia version, and the downloadable file, the support materials, the glossary, and you are going to find the activities, the file with the description of this activity, Speak Your Mind. The next activity is Political Matters, the interactive one. The next one is Society as I See It. Remember to download the instructions. And finally, the evidence, the future of my city. Remember the right way to send the file. Click in Examinar Equipo and in Enviar. Remember to check the whole material about this activity by clicking on the top menu to explore all the exercises and topics that are there. The main topics for this activity are: first, the difference between the future perfect and the future perfect progressive, and the vocabulary related to politics and political systems. So let's check the grammar of this activity. The future perfect progressive. Let's check what the materials say. We use the future perfect progressive when we express for how long an action will have been taken place at a point of reference in the future. The action started before that point of reference and will continue after that point. Let's analyze the example used in the introduction. By 2025, Colombians will have been watching TV for 71 years. Let's see what the subject for the sentence is: Colombian. The action is watch TV. The point of reference is in the future. And the starting point of the action was 1953. So let's check in this chart. The sentence: Colombia started to watch TV in 1953. Then they have been watching TV for 71 years, and they will be watching TV in 2025. So Colombia will have been watching TV for 71 years by 2025. Let's check the structure for affirmative statements. First, the subject. Wherever it is plural or singular, the form will plus have plus been plus the verb plus ing. Let's see the examples with working, studying, and check the negative statement structure. First the subject, then the auxiliary will back with the negative form, which is here, will not, it's the same as was, plus have, plus been, and finally the verb with the ing form. Working, studying, working. And for the interrogative statement, remember that the form of will is going to be first, that the subject, and finally the verb has been with the verb with ing and the question mark. Let's see this exercise. The first statement: in affirmative, she will have been living in Ireland for 10 years at that point. Let's see the question form: at that point, would you have been living in Ireland for 10 years? And finally, In the negative form, at that point, I will not have been living in Ireland for 10 years, only 2. Let's check the evidences that you have to send me for this activity. The first one is Speak Your Mind, for which you have to write a composition expressing to what extent you agree or disagree with the statements below. Make use of the critical thinking strategy you learned in previous lessons. So you need to talk about all these points in this activity, explaining why I agree or disagree with each one of them. For the second activity, you have to go to the interactive window and start reading the questions and collecting the correct ones. Remember that if you make 3 mistakes, you will lose the activity. The third activity is society as I see it, and for this evidence you have to read the following situation and create a video answering the questions below. In the answer for question 7, you will be required to use the future perfect and the future perfect progressive. You will find a model sentence below the question. So this is the situation, and you need to discuss the questions that you are going to find in the instructions activity. And the final activity is the future of my city, in which for the first part you have to create a presentation in Microsoft PowerPoint of a tool of your choice describing your predictions about the city where you were born. You should only use the future perfect and the future perfect progressive. Your presentation should have at least 10 slides, 5 sentences using the future perfect and 5 sentences using the future perfect progressive. There are some examples you have to check in the whole file with the instructions, and for the second part, you need to record your answers explaining why you think your predictions are accurate. And there is an example about the recording you have to do. It's not too long, but it's important to do the complete exercise. Finally, remember that if you have any questions, you can write me through the platform or write your question in the questions forum. Those are the conclusions for this session. We made the platform introduction for this activity. We explained the main topic of this activity and the evidence that you have to send in to approve. Thank you so much for your attention this time. I really hope we can see you in another occasion.